For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringWater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Welcome to Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, joining you on a bit humid, a bit steamy out, but
yes.
Some rain overnight, and it seems to be pretty much gone. And looking forward to a beautiful weekend of racing, Anthony.
Yeah, it's supposed to be gorgeous here tomorrow. Get ready for the final day of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, of course, with Belmont Stakes 153. Couple of great cards the next 2 days. Muddy and Yielding to kick off Friday.
Let's get to work on today's card. Send you over to NYRABets.com if you're not a member of NYRABets. No better time than the present to join NYRABets. I can't see the TV, but there it is. Okay, you get a free $25 bet and a $200 sign-up bonus as well. Use the promo code Belmont25. Go to NYRABets.com. Keep the money in the game. Support racing in New York. Play through NYRABets. Also, want to let people know that we have $50 bonus. You bet at least $50 or more to win on each stake race, and there are 5 of them today, through the app and the app only, through NYRABets. You will get a $50 bonus when the day is done. Win or lose, win, lose, draw, all those races. Also, 12:30 to 5 today, 6 to 6:30, and then we're doing a Belmont preview show 6:30 to 7, all on FS2 today. And also want to quickly go through those Belmont 2-day doubles. Starting all the stakes, starting with the 7th, the True North, starting with those stakes. The True North goes to the Jaipur, race number 7. The 8th race, the Bed of Roses, that goes towards the Acorn. The 9th, the New York, that goes towards the Met Mile. And the 10th, the Belmont Gold Cup, that goes to the Belmont Stakes, 3.5 miles of double in that race. We kick it off the turf in race 1 as we go to the replay of Ant Cat. I give credit to the Mott Barn. They entered Ant Cat in just about every race that was on the turf. I think they entered MTO and some dirt races. Any race they could possibly be in, they were entering this filly, and they ran Lake Avenue, they're running her in the Bed of Roses. I imagine they considered running her as well, but she's eligible for this non-winners at 2, and she had a gold rail when she broke her maiden 2 back. She didn't have any excuse to run well last time, other than the fact that she's obviously a very good horse.
Serious racehorse, yes. And this one last time out, like you said, no real help, just her talent. And she was able to pair the number that was aided. So obviously, if she's helped by the track 2 starts back, like we believe she was, she actually improved last time out when she did it on her own, even though it was the same figure. Yeah,
I mean,
first one of the festival.
Just raced one. Well, yesterday. The festival really started yesterday.
I don't think we had a great point yesterday.
No. You definitely had none. That's a fact. That I'm clear on.
So,
I guess the question with Ant Cat a little bit, if you're always looking for a reason that maybe you want to be a little bit suspect, is that she's got to get the mile today. And she does seem like a completely different horse in her first 2 starts, but one of the things I talked about quite a bit with her in her first 2 starts and why I bet her in her 3rd start was that her Damn Carolyn's Cat was a sprinter. And it seemed a little odd that they were running her long the first couple of times. So I guess stretching out, but geez, she seems to have such an advantage. I am going to use Flash and Dynamite a little bit in here. She got an aggressive ride, which I liked last time. It just seemed like she went and the whole field went after her. It was about as contested a pace as we've seen. And she has run some respectable races. And obviously, she's not good enough to beat the favorite. And Ant Cat's going to be an overwhelming favorite here. But she was the horse I would use to back up in here. I didn't want any of the others. I just didn't think any of them could win this race.
Yeah, I don't think any of them can win either. I wanted the fresh dirt face Flower Point. daughter of Point of Entry, who Shug always said he thought the Point of Entries were dirt. He's going to try the theory with this filly mare now.
Well, he's only had her one start,
right.
so
second off of a.
He hasn't had a chance to make a mistake and run on the dirt yet, so he might as well take a shot.
Second off a 16-month layoff. Quite frankly, Andy, I didn't really want any other dirt horses if I was trying to close out an exacta. But
doesn't Point of Entry have a decent dirt horse?
Yeah, I can't remember who.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but there's somebody has that, or has had in the last couple of years that was pretty good. That's a dirt horse. Probably when somebody texted it to me like Steve, I'll be embarrassed that we didn't think of who it was. Race number 2, also off the turf, and races 1 and 2 are the only races that are off the turf on today's card. We'll take a look at Raffinity, who's going to be a heavy favorite, the number 13, who gets in off the also eligibles. I don't have a knock, except to say there is a little bit of a last time was the time feeling on this horse. They bet her in her last start like there was zero chance she would lose.
Scary.
The only way she lost is Lose Lescano gave the winner, who probably is a better horse, a perfect ride and beat her. But she was geared up to win last time. And I wonder, you know, I mean, her prior races, her race 2 back, I mean, let me ask you a question. How much would you, I mean, she can win off her race 2 back, but she's going to be a very short price. How short a price would you take on her based on her race 2 back? Not to say her last race doesn't matter, but I think there's some relevance to that.
Well, and to that point, she probably has a race in her. I think it's reasonable to think there's a race in her between the race 2 back and the race last time, and that gets it done.
Well, no, that may get it done. Let's not get carried away. You're acting like she's just sort of some overlay. I'm not convinced that she is. I mean, wins a Capri on the inside. I know the pace was quick and it fell apart in her first start, but she wasn't on the rail. She ran a wide rally on a track that was very kind to the inside, and the winner came up the rail in that race. And then she just completely got eliminated at the break in her start, and she ran a 58 by her first time out, while a little bit wide against a gold rail. So who's to say that she's not comparable to the number 13 Raffinity, and she's going to be a better price?
Yeah,
not a significant. I mean, she's not going to be a huge price, but
yeah, it's cutting back off of the try going a mile on the 16th and the off the turf for last time. Yeah, I mean,
sloppy sealed track. It's just, you know, and this track, by the way, is listed as muddy. I assume it'll be harrowed. It's sealed now, but I assume it was harrow when I came out to see you. I don't know where else you're supposed to go here, though.
Yeah.
You got anybody else you want to discuss?
I put the 9 Strong Moment second, but they debuted this horse on the turf. Didn't take much money. Thought maybe just getting this horse to the main track.
I should take the top off of this, right?
If you're looking to drink out of it, yes, it helps. Unless you want to, I don't have my cigar punch to.
Don't bring up cigars.
To get it down. Sorry.
Strong Moment has a big turf dam. She was awful in her debut. I don't know if she's a different horse when she shows up today. We'll see if that's the case. The other MTO, the 12, Fancy Feline, a flat-out first foal with a pretty insignificant pedigree. See a Kitten's Joy Dam and trying the dirt for the first time. So Maggie says Pluca Parfait could be the Point of Entry I'm thinking of. And so if Maggie thinks that's the best dirt horse, then thank you, Maggie. He doesn't have any good dirt horses. Actually, Pluca Parfait, I think that Brendan Walsh deserves a medal. Didn't he take that horse over to Dubai or so, right? And he managed to win over $1 million with that horse. So he probably should have got a special Eclipse Award for the smartest move by a trainer of that year. Race number 3, we lost Little Drama. Lots of drama with Little Drama scratching. So we're down to 4 in the Tremont. I'm going to show the replay of Overbore's first race, which was on the dirt, and Overbore is a maiden in this race, but will also, I imagine, be a relatively short price, though I guess Trust Our Journey will take some money. So Overbore blows the break, right? They're steadied back after breaking slow, and this horse was really far out of the race and kind of wanted to show that, and this horse made a wild run to get there. Now, Baytown Frosty, who won the race, is the number 1, is obviously no superstar, and that's being kind. But this horse did do a lot of running in there before losing by a nose, 3-5 on the turf.
Yeah, look, this horse, I mean.
Here's a horse.
Not in the picture. And now he's finally in the picture. And to do this going 4.5 furlongs in your first start, I mean, at one point in this race, this horse probably made up close to 20 lengths.
I wouldn't say he made up 20 lengths, but he made up over 10 lengths.
Yeah, this horse was far back.
He was. I agree.
Far back.
But it wasn't a very good race, but I took him over Trust Our Journey. I am going to use Trust Our Journey, though, whose first race may be good enough to win. They look like the two horses. I don't think there should be a significant difference in odds in these horses. I think Overboard should be favored, and Trust Our Journey should be close.
There will be, but you're probably right.
Might not be. It's a 4-horse field.
It's Wesley Ward with a 2-year-old.
Okay. It's Wesley Ward with an 0 for 2 2-year-old.
What are you thinking, 3 to 5, 8 to 5?
It's a Wesley Ward with an 0 for 2 2-year-old that has lost at 3 to 5 and even money. This is no superstar.
No, obviously. Obviously.
Well, I don't know if Trust Our Journey is much, but I wouldn't be surprised if he beats him. It's probably between these two, though Kavad got it done last time with a 57 buyer. We'll see what happens in the Tremont. The Tremont was the U.S. debut of, I don't know if it really counts as the U.S. debut, because I believe it was the debut in North America, I should say, of Bold Forbes when he came from Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
I think he won the Tremont before he went up to Saratoga.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Interesting.
But I thought he won the Tremont first.
Before my time.
I remember Bold Forbes winning in Saratoga in 1975.
Wasn't alive.
In the one of the races, the Special or the Sanford. Yeah. I was the Wood. I was the Wood with my grandmother when he won in '76.
I'm a Seattle Slew baby.
Yeah, I remember Slew breaking his maiden. I remember reading about it in the paper. It was right after Saratoga. Race number 4. That's the second of 3 pick 5s, right?
No, this race 4 starts the second of 3 pick 5s.
Isn't that what
I thought you said that was.
I'm sorry.
This is. Yes. I thought you said that was, man. Thought you were jumping
Race
ahead.
4, that's the beginning of the
mandatory
next pick
payout in this
5.
pick 5.
And by the way, Francisco will break after race number 5 and come back for the last 6 races in the pick 6. And all the excitement. We forgot to mention that. We'll take a look at another short-priced favorite on the card, and that's Mahamel, beating Repo Rocks, who I had bet last time, who ran well off the claim for Tom Morley. But Mahamel ran very well. First captain came back to win. I'm not trying to beat this horse.
No, me either. Big effort. First captain came back and looked good the other day. I'm always curious when the horse runs this well and they make an equipment change. I don't know what this horse could have done differently besides get his
Do you have any data
body in
that
front
did
of
anything
him.
relevant?
It's just weird.
Not to me.
Horse ran a 93.
I don't know. Todd Pletcher trained him. Irad Ortiz obviously not riding.
John Velasquez on Mahamel.
For those people that are not aware, Irad was involved in a spill yesterday and thankfully is okay. He's probably going to be out a couple of weeks, they said, but expecting him back 2 weeks. The most important thing is that he is okay. And
Yes.
Irad, I know I speak for many, many people in racing when I say we're glad that it wasn't serious, and we hope you're back soon, and we hope you're feeling okay.
No question about it.
Hate to see that happen, and glad to hear that it looks like he'll be okay. This horse ran so well first time. I'm not going to bet against this horse.
We both have two first-time starters, second and third, the same two, and you would imagine that they'd have to come up with pretty special performances if this horse
Mahamel doesn't show up again.
Right.
As far as the firsters, the honorable one for Todd Beatty. Todd Beatty coming here with a firster. The dam was really turf, but she was pretty good, but she produced some good dirt horses. Tiswell was a nice horse. A little more distance, and that's probably why this horse is debuting at 7 furlongs.
It is well, second in the Alabama Grade 1 winner going long. Yeah. Todd Beatty's a sharp trainer who usually comes in here. He had that nice feeling. Remember Taris? When she came in the winter at Aqueduct, she wound up being a nice broodmare as well. He brings him in. He's had that filly that was second to
Trained Fabulous Strike. He wins
Fabulous
a lot
Strike.
of races
Yep.
in Penn National. Cody's Wish, the Bill Mott firster, is a half to endorsed, who won his debut at Saratoga over. One of your favorite horses?
Complexity? No, Complexity won. Ahead of Plan.
Correct. Dance Card was a little more distance, once again 7 furlongs, but that could be a dangerous one as well. Looking at these firsters on big days, but they may have their hands full. Listen, Repo Rocks ran well last time out, but I wonder if he wants a little less distance, and as Tom could do with this race coming up at 7 furlongs. But he ran very well off the claim. He ran very well 2 back when he was against the racetrack. He's okay, just might not be good enough. Race number 5 at 1 mile on the turf. The biggest upset of this entire racing festival weekend is that Anthony Stabile didn't pick this horse Shaftesbury on top, who he is deluding himself, and we'll take a look at his last race. He's deluding himself into believing that he's a superstar, but you didn't pick him on top. I lost 437 lunches to somebody, to various people around the globe.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm shocked. You liked him in the steak, didn't you?
I did.
But you don't like him here.
Well, I gotta like the horse that handled him pretty easily in his debut in Colton's Command. We'll get to him. This horse did nothing wrong. I mean, this horse has done very little wrong in his career.
He's done a little bit right and very little wrong.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 5, Anthony, and he improved a lot when he got here. He also got an unbelievably perfect trip last time out. Todd has very good numbers off maiden wins, and that applies to the 9-1 quad and Shaftesbury. I'm not sure what you think is so good about Shaftesbury. I'm not saying he can't win, because he absolutely can win this race, but what did you see other than a perfect trip last time?
I like his races down in Florida, too. He ran against a couple of horses. Obviously, Colton's Command, the horse I picked in here. Annex is a multiple stakes winner. I don't know. I thought this horse's form was all right. I thought he beat a decent enough field last time. I thought he did it the right way. He did get a good trip.
Nobody's really run back from that race, so we don't know how strong it was. Maybe you're right. I'm not. I think he's a contender in here. I've got him 4th. I won't be surprised if he wins. But as we go to Colton's Command, we'll look at a race where Public Sector finished 2nd and he finished 4th. If you think he's so good, what the heck happened to him here?
I don't know what happened here. I don't know.
Well, doesn't that matter?
Yeah, it matters.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. Maybe he went the wrong way off his maiden win. He's got a couple of a decent half-mile drills.
But if he went the wrong way off his maiden win, why would you want him?
Because maybe
field.
he just went the wrong way off the win and needed. I don't know if he needed a little bit more time.
More time. He ran back
I
5
want
weeks
to give him
later.
another.
Same distance.
His maiden race.
Arguably more time between those 2 races than today.
He had
36.
He had a big maiden.
Days.
He had a big maiden win, and I think he'll get a little bit more pace to run that today. And
the pace was the problem last time?
I think the pace could have been the problem. I don't know what the problem was last time.
It didn't seem to affect Public Sector.
This horse ran awful last time. Well, you might, and listen, Public Sector might just be better than these horses.
No, I don't know if he is. It is a question. It's an important race for him, I'll say that. It is interesting, and I was talking about this on Twitter the other day. They've run this 1-mile turf non-winners of 1 over the last 4 years on Belmont Stakes Racing Festival weekend. Chad Brown has won it with the following 4 horses: Bricks and Mortar, Raging Bull, Valid Point, who won the Grade 1 Secretariat. He's the black sheep of the crew. He only won 1 Grade 1. And Domestic Spending, who will vie for favoritism in tomorrow's Manhattan and has won 2 Grade 1s. It is a pretty incredible run.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
The 1-mile race. It really is amazing. I think it's been the Friday of this weekend every year, except last year it was on a Sunday.
It has. It's been like
June
the 3rd,
7th.
4th.
It was the Sunday. It was June 7th last year, which would have been Belmont.
It's been like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th race, I want to say, every year.
Who else should we talk about in this? And by the way, I don't disagree with you about the 8. I'm sort of teasing you a little. I'm not teasing you.
I don't know what happened last time.
The horse was so bad last time, and his maiden win was good. I don't disagree. Blasted Shaftesbury, who is okay. But what the heck happened to him last time? It was terrible.
I don't know.
He never got out of first gear. He just like...
What about Original?
Oh, I've got him 3rd. I don't know if he's any good, but he should be speed in here, right?
Should be speed. He's getting Lasix for the first time. I like the fact that he's getting the Lasix second start off of the little 10-week break. I don't know. He's supposed to set the pace in here.
You don't know. Shouldn't you know?
He broke his maiden on yielding ground over at Aqueduct, and he gets plenty of give in it today. Maybe that helps his cause. I don't know.
I've got him.
He's a wild card. He's going to be a good price. He's going to get lost in the shuffle of Public Sector and the stakes face, and the short price that Colton's Command was against a couple of these last time. And
what about Founder getting on the turf? He's after a turf winner, but he's an upstart. Doesn't really scream turf, and he's just been such a disappointment after beating. I mean, it's amazing with Founder. He beat Highly Motivated in his debut, and he can't get out of his own way in the rest of his career.
I have to tell you, a friend of mine
what do you have to tell me?
Friend of mine and I were alive in the pick 5 to this horse last time. I mean, you want to talk about never having a route.
You were close.
This horse didn't run 2 steps.
And down goes Stabile as Joe Frazier wins the race. We're done with the first 5.
That was corny.
The pick 6 coming up in race number 6 after a quick break.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Do you like how Francisco orders us around? You know,
He's
very
Andy,
bossy.
He's the director.
He is.
He told us that authoritatively last week.
He did, and he's really.
You know, I met him last week. I actually saw him.
I've met Francisco. We bond at Aqueduct.
Oh, I've never met him. He walked over and said, "Do you know who I am?" I was like, "Who else has a voice like that?" Of course I know who it is.
Do you know who I am?
It's Francisco.
Do you know who I am? Race number 6. I just figured I'd pick the same stupid horses Stabile once today because it was David Aragon and I were joking the other night about how we knew that Stabile would pick this horse and still wanted to kind of pick him in here. We'll take a look at the replay that contains quite a few of these, including Devil's Code, who ran second and ran very well. Brilliant Brooks, who you'd want to bet against, and we'll get to him. And Kaz's Beach, who doesn't win. Why do you think that Reggae Music Man, who ran 7th in here, will run much better today after not running at all against these?
He took the bump at the start. I would imagine Jose Ortiz just put the source on the lead today. Source has been better when he's been forwardly placed.
You're on heroin if you think he's going to be on the lead. I mean, you're absolutely, honestly, you are so out of your mind if you think this guy's going to be in the lead. By the way, if you're going to talk about bumps to the start because they're in the PPs, just watch.
I watched the replay.
No, you
He didn't get bumped to the start. They went about 4 or 5 jumps out of the race, and he got bothered a little bit.
He didn't get by, but nothing. He was like this.
Okay.
This is what he did.
He took a little bit.
He did this, and that must have cost the race. It was like they rubbed him. It was more like a rub.
This is the race where we got the
massage.
6-1 gift on Winner's Laugh, who was able to get to the top, control, and hold off the overbet Brilliant Brooks, who's back in here.
Let's get back to important things. The bump meant nothing. We'll start with that. Devil's Code is the right horse out of the race. The problem is that he was 30-1 last time. He's going to be a fraction of that today.
Wait, hold on. Why do you think Devil's Code is the horse out of the race? Devil's Code rode the inside.
What was special about the inside?
The inside got good the end of the day.
No, it didn't. But anyway, forgetting about that. Okay, that's what you think. I don't. But we'll get some. You have some evidence of that?
I remember making a note of it.
Really?
Out of the race because I wanted to bet Reggae Music Man back.
You do know the other dirt race that day was won, and first and second were out in the middle of the racetrack the whole way around the track. Just letting you know, but that's fine.
Inside looked like it was the place to be to me that day.
Well, that was you were.
I remember making the comment too.
Opinion?
I remember making the comment too because when you and I talked about that race, you made fun of me because I said you need to look at the odds book because there'll be some gems here, and you're like you
Anthony,
said you always have the odds book.
There is less than zero evidence that there was something special about the rail on May 9th, and if I were you, I would review the races from that day instead of saying that. That was the day, I believe, that Barron won the stake, rallying out in the middle of the racetrack over Candyman Rocket, who was out in the middle of the racetrack as well. Like that was the only other dirt race after that race, but I could be wrong. I felt like it was a merry-go-round race. I felt like it was a race where nobody switched any positions at any point in the race. And that's why I think horses like Reggae Music Man and Kaz's Beach can and will run better. Kaz's Beach not a winning type, but he could run better because the way the race would run. That's what I thought in there. I don't understand how Brilliant Brooks was favored last time. His loss 2 back was one of the most embarrassing losses I've ever seen. Rode a gold rail, perfect trip, and still lost to a horse with a tougher trip. The race won. I just don't think he's that good. I'm not saying he has no chance, but I don't like him.
He's burned a lot. There was a little discrepancy with the rider changes. I'm just making sure everything is correct.
Riding the 3?
Everything's right.
Who's riding him?
Oh, the 3 is Luis Saez.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As far as Reggae Music Man, it was a switch last time to Pat Reynolds. I thought he was a bit compromised by the dynamics of the race, and I just thought he was a little bit interesting. He can be forward. I doubt he's on the lead, but I suppose anything's possible. Isn't Color Me Potsy going to be on the lead? Horse was out at a pretty quick pace last time, wasn't he?
I thought Reggae Music Man. I just found out why you picked Reggae Music Man. Cheek pieces on.
Oh, yeah. Now, with Color Me Potsy, that's a rail that I think there's an argument may have been the best place to be. Isn't Quick Flash sort of the horse to beat in this race as we take a look at his race on the dirt, his race 2 back? My problem with Quick Flash is he's got 1 win in 5 seconds, but he's kind of faster than these horses in general.
Yeah, Barnes going a little quiet right now. Why did they run this horse on the turf last time? And this horse's dirt form was good enough.
They made a mistake.
There's no real turf pedigree there.
Okay, he didn't run well. We can throw that race out. Why don't we So you don't like him today because he ran the turf?
I don't like him today because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they kind of gave up on him by running him on the turf.
There's tons of turf racing around here, and sometimes the races come up and there aren't other spots for them, and they want to take a shot and see if they can run on the turf.
Yeah,
we run
I
a
guess.
million turf races in New York. Why wouldn't you take a shot and see if he can run on the turf? I mean, it is a Bernstein Dam. It's not the most ridiculous thing in the world to think the horse should be a turf horse. Horse was only 9-1. I mean, I don't know why you'd hold that against him in here today. He doesn't win, but I mean, every race he runs is fast enough to win here.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, we're up to 75 lunches. I'll bet you he beats the 3. I'll take 10 against 3.
Sure.
I'm giving you the worst of it. We'll bet 1 lunch on that.
You give me the best of it, you mean?
Yeah, I said I'm taking the worst of it.
Yeah, I thought you said you're giving me the worst of it.
No, I got the worst
Okay.
of it. All right. Taking the 5, little 1 and 5 mostly with Quick Flash. Race number 7. This is the first half of the True North Jackpot Jaipur.
It is also the start of the 20-cent 2-day pick 6.
That is the True North, the New York, the Gold Cup, the Jackpot Jaipur, the Manhattan
Metropolitan.
Met Mile, and the Belmont Stakes.
Correct. 7, 9, and 10 today, 6, 9, and 11 tomorrow.
All right. So much useless information flying around inside your head.
I wrote it down.
No, you're doing a tremendous job. You did. I meant you, euphemism, you and I.
Oh, forget about it.
Race number 7. We'll take a look at Firenze Fire.
Jose Ortiz, by the way, will be riding Firenze Fire today. Jose Ortiz picks up the mount.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
He's just a horse to beat. There's no really 2 ways around it. He's faster than these horses. He's consistent, and he's the horse to beat. And while the track is listed as wet, I imagine that we'll be back. We should be good by then.
Yeah. This is something, though, that Kelly Breen has been worried about since he took his training over, that, you know, the moisture in the track. He actually scratched him once last year because of the moisture in the track. Yeah, I mean...
Looking at the weather report.
Yeah. There was a chance of showers between 3 and 5 o'clock, which obviously would not be optimal for Firenze Fire since this race is being run at 4:07.
Later.
I think he's a player because I don't think it's going to be a washed-out, soupy racetrack.
There's no chance of the rain on my thing.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so they changed it.
Unless I misread it.
But, yeah, I think that, I mean,
5 o'clock.
He's the horse to beat, right?
Yeah. I think he's very much the horse to beat. I want to look at the Churchill Downs handicap, where Flagstaff got some ride by Luis Saez. He was in the pace early, he took him around, he came around. And the argument for Fat Man in this race, as we take a look at the Churchill Downs handicap, is that he was down the inside. There are different debates about the rail on Derby Day. Some people are convinced it was a dead rail. Some people think that's absolute lunacy. I'm not sure. I think there is an argument that the rail wasn't the best place to be, and Fat Man ended up right down on the inside in there. And
He's scraping paint in there,
ran a big fig the time before that. Now, the concern for me is all his big figs come at Gulfstream, and that's a bother. Do you remember who trained this horse when he ran in New York a few years ago? You know when he ran in New York? 4 years ago. 2017, he was running in New York.
Joe Sharp? Joe Sharp had this horse at one point.
You are unbelievable. I'm impressed.
Yeah, Joe Sharp had this horse.
Gold star
Joe
for
Sharp
that.
had this horse for a while.
I said this before. I once asked Anthony to name the trainers in the 1993 Derby, and he got 18 of the 20 trainers, 4 of whom I had never heard of.
That was some chart.
Most impressive jobs I've ever seen. And by the way, just rattled them off. Yes, Joe Sharp did have this horse, and he actually did run well at Belmont before. But his well then was an 86 buyer, and that was 85 and 86, and that was the kind of figs he was running then.
And it wasn't against, it wasn't against graded stakes, or, there's grade 1 winners in here.
I thought, well, yeah, but I'm not overly,
No,
other than Firenze
listen,
Fire,
it's not the
I'm
toughest field, but
I've seen enough of Flagstaff. He can win. He got a very good trip last time. I don't think he's good enough. The thing is, he doesn't have figs that are fast enough to win here, whereas the number 7 Fat Man does. Now, they're at Gulfstream, but he does have a number of figures that are fast enough to win here and beat the favorite. And I think he might have a bit of an excuse last time. He's the only horse I could make a solid case to beat the favorite. That's all.
I got to tell you, man, we keep, and I stopped today. We keep waiting for American Power to turn back into the pumpkin.
I don't wait for Bubba. I just don't think he can win here.
And the truth of the matter is, since the blinkers came off, this horse has done very, very little wrong.
Let's look at his last race.
He's going to be on the front end.
He hasn't done enough right to win this race. He is the speed, considering the speed that Flagstaff showed last time, I don't think that he's going to clear that one so easily. And the reality of it is that you were right last time, by the way. I argued with you, and you were dead right. You said to me he was going to crawl on the front end, and you were 100% right, and I was 100% wrong. But even with that happening,
he got beat.
And looking at Bikini's getting blocked out of the inside and having to alter course and go around, he still beat him.
And I guess looking.
So how's he going to beat him looking at Bikini's today?
Well, it's a half furlong last, and maybe that helps his cause, and maybe he gets a little more maybe the move is not to crawl. Maybe the move is to put some separation on these horses, let them chase and let them come get you.
Can I bet you the 5 will beat him today?
No. I'm
I
not
just gave you a 5-2 over 9-2.
All right, go ahead. I'll give you for one. See, because here's the thing. Looking at Bikinis is the wild card, because looking at the Bikinis is the horse that I think, if I would have told you 2 years ago, hey, looking at Bikinis is going to be 7-2 on the morning line in the True North in 2 years, you would have looked at me like I had 11 heads.
Why would I have?
Because I think we
Anthony,
both thought.
I picked him in the Travers.
That's what I'm trying to say. No.
So maybe he turned to be a sprinter.
Right. But I still, and that he was 7-2 third choice. I think you'd have looked at me. We both thought this horse was I think we both thought this horse was going to go on to really big things. And
it turned out you didn't want to go long.
Correct, but anyway.
I don't know where you're going with this. I got a text from the person responsible for the horrendous name that poor Looking at Bikinis has this morning, saying to me, "You like Fat Man over Looking at Bikinis?" Did he think I put up different picks on the thing than who I like?
Does he mean picks? What does he mean in theory?
I dream of Looking at Bikinis. I think Looking at Bikinis has a chance in here, but like you, I think Frenzy Fire. I don't agree on American Power, but we've disagreed in the past, and you haven't been wrong about him, so we'll see. Race number 8, the Better Roses. Unfortunately, the favorite is not going to play in here, Chubwagon. I have no idea why they would not run in a meaningful race like this, but that's their prerogative. But she certainly seemed to have a good chance to win a great stake, which you would think would be a goal for her. Piedi Bianchi, good pick by you, ran yesterday. She finished second at 12-1.
I should have got some lunches out of you yesterday.
You lost one. Good call.
I know.
So we end up with Estilo Talentoso on top. Let me ask you a question with this horse. We'll take as a first video, I'm sorry. The Derby City Distaff behind Gamine.
The DCD, as we like to call it.
I mean, from a speed figure standpoint, she's pretty tough. Does she run to her competition, and do we trust her to run these races in New York?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't.
She can win.
And you want to talk about, she had a pretty good setup last time, too. They crawled. She was close to a slow pace. And I'll tell you what, the way Gamine looked that day, if you were going to beat Gamine, it was probably that day. And I know there's no real Gamines in here.
Well, she ran a 95 Beyer.
She did.
Finishing third. She was on top of a pretty moderate pace, but she draws well on the outside. I'm not letting this horse beat me. She can win here. I mean, you got her third. It's not.
Yeah.
I have an opinion in this race.
You don't like my pick?
No. Well, she was lucky to win last time. We'll take a look at the Vagrancy. Pacific Gale, watching the head-on, this was just horrible luck. She just basically turned her head as they were breaking the gate, and she broke a length and a half behind, and it was an important length and a half because the moderate pace put her at a significant disadvantage in here. Listen, you've liked Victim of Love. You liked her last time. She won. You were right. I just don't like her in here. I don't like the horses out of this race.
I'll tell you, I liked her a little bit more when Chubwagon was in here. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but I think she's probably better when she has...
Just the sane ones.
When she has... Well, I think she's better when she has the target. And now I would think she becomes the speed of the race.
She is on paper the speed of this race.
Things are a little bit different now.
So it's worse to be the speed in a slow-paced race than be sitting behind a
I think for a filly that has been a little bit better when she has that... No, in theory, it's not.
I want to write a book about old wives' tales of the racetrack.
That's not a wives' tale. When horses... And look, she's one going to the lead. She's one going a mile on the front end. It's a little bit of a different story.
Why is it a different story? You think she would have been better in that race if she had a target?
No, it's
She often has a target. You know why she often has a target in her races? Because there's horses in races with more speed than her because she's not that fast.
right. But I just think I think she's a little bit better.
I think that's cool.
With a target.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. She's won on a tracks that you would imagine is going to be similar to the one we have if the rain stays away. Some moisture in it, sealed. Maybe they open it up. I don't know.
The track won't be sealed unless it rains.
I think she's going to be. I think she's tough today. I liked her a little bit better at a better price, especially with the speedy favorite scratching out. But
okay,
I'll still take my chances.
I don't like her.
her.
We disagree, but she has her merits, and she is the speed in this race. And definitely, the scratch, in my opinion, dramatically helps her. I scratched into Lake Avenue. We'll take a look at her in the Heavenly Prize. This might be a terrible pick. The one thing I will say about her poor performance in the Ruffian was she missed the distaff, which was the first Friday in April. So perhaps missing that race has something to do with her running as poorly as she did last time. I mean, am I grasping at straws? A little bit. But she did miss that race, and she had run very well in the Heavenly Prize, albeit against nobody. I just hope that maybe her price would be elevated a little bit. Listen, I like the 6. I thought Chubwagon was going to bury this field today.
I'm going to tell you what about with Lake Avenue. I do think, I mean, when you take a look at the field she faced 2 back compared to last time, I mean, it's night and day. I think less distance might be better for her. I think the 7. I think the 7's going to be better for her.
She did.
Right, but she didn't beat. I mean, she beat a.
So she's never evidenced that she wants less distance. Her bigger fig races are always longer races or the same figure, so she doesn't evidence that there's.
See, I thought her best race was the first race off the layoff this year.
Yeah, we disagree.
Going the 7.
That's fine. I don't agree at all. I don't think it's close, but that's fine. I went to Lake Avenue School in Saratoga.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually why I picked her.
I'm sure. Cheek pieces with Reggae Music Man.
What about Alondra?
My girl Alondra.
She's in good
I thought she was
form.
going to go gate to wire last time. She came from last. I don't know what to do with her. I don't know. She broke her maiden going 7.
Tough for horse to go gate to wire with that speed.
Yeah.
I think she's a little bit dangerous in this race. She's improved. She's in good form. And, you know, the thing about Alondra, and obviously had a perfect trip against Lesser last time, is she was supposed to be a good horse, and it never went the right way. Maybe she's finally turning her life around. I don't think she's impossible.
Her last 2 races now is her 2 races as a 4-year-old from a pretty lengthy layoff, 9-month layoff. Maybe she's just getting really good right now.
What about Bayerness? She ran well in a wet track. I just don't think Lady Rocket, who she beat, and she came back to win by a zop in her next start. She did run a big fig last time. I mean, you have to admit, she did. She
did. And she's 2 for 2 on wet tracks. I wonder how much that moves her up. I know she stakes face behind She Dares the Devil and 4 Graces, and she's not facing anything like that in here.
Races? She disappeared, right?
I would assume at this point, even though she's only 4, she's been retired because we haven't seen her for a while. That's about my assumption.
She was a nice horse.
She missed all of those races in the fall and late winter.
She missed Saratoga too.
The Saratoga and all those races. So, actually, you know what? No, that's wrong. I think she ran on Derby Day or Derby week.
Really?
And she didn't. I don't think she ran any good.
Race number 9 is the New York. We have a couple of scratches. Micheline, who I thought was a big-time player, came out. And always shopping. I guess she's going to wait for the Just a Game tomorrow. We'll start with Harvey's Little Goyle. Wait a second. You didn't pick Harvey's? You picked Civil Union?
I did.
How much had you had to drink when you got to this
Nothing.
race?
I don't drink.
You should use that.
I do drink, but I don't drink like
use that as an
on
excuse.
a regular basis.
You should say, I was blind drunk and I meant to write the number of a horse who could win.
Nope.
But we'll get to her. I have no knock on Harvey's Little Goyle. I think she's terrific. She's speeded herself in position. She can handle the distance. To me, there's nothing not to like about her. I just think she's the horse to beat. It's a tough race, but she's the horse to beat.
I don't disagree. I agree with everything you said.
We'll move on then, and we'll move to Mean Mary, who won this race last year in an uncompetitive race on a gold rail on the turf. It is a much tougher New York for you, Mean Mary, but she ran a big race behind Rushing Fall in the Diana, and she's capable of running very well. What do you do with her?
Always love seeing this Diana. Always love seeing Rushing Fall. I don't like her.
Why don't you like her?
Well, like you said, I feel like
I didn't pick her either.
Last year's renewal. I mean, her only.
Well, this
her
was,
best race was in the Diana.
well, that was good, though.
It was a really good race. I just think she's kind of dressed up off some of these other races.
I agree with you.
You know? And she's going to, I mean.
Well, don't you think that between Antoinette and
Antoinette's got
Traipsing, what about
one of them,
Traipsing? One or both of them have to be
one or both
aggressive.
of them have to go keep.
And the other thing is that Harvey's Little Goyle isn't slow, so
well,
if it's not that fast, how's she going to be? I mean, Junior's got to be forward with her. It's one of her best talents, is she can be forward.
Absolutely.
And it's the only thing I think that differentiates her in the turf and dirt, because especially now with Swiss Skydiver and the Todd Pletcher's variants scratching tomorrow. I really wish that she was running in the. Could she run in both? Can she enter late and run back-to-back days, Bill? Because I actually think Harvey's Little Goyle is as good on turf. Might be as good on dirt as turf, but she seems to have more speed on turf. She seems to be more handy, so maybe that's an indication it's a better surface for her.
He ran her 7 times in 6 months last year. Maybe she can run back-to-back.
I love Harvey's Little Goyle, as you know, and I'm not a big Mina Mary fan, but I don't want to be overly dismissive of her. That's all I'm saying, because she has run some good races in that rushing.
Just hard to find her on her loose lead.
Well, even last time, she beats Vigilante Way by a half length, and that was her first start of the layoff.
And it was going a mile and a 16th, and she's probably better with a little bit more
but
ground.
There are
she
some
can
speeds outside of her.
She's got to face some pressure today, right?
Just for my own amusement, why do you like Civil Union?
I think Civil Union's a real estate kind of horse. She needs more ground. I think it was a jumping off point last time. And I think Joelle made sure she got a little bit something out of the race by putting a move into her on the turn, going to the turn while wide. She got tired. Now she gets back to her 1.25 miles. I'll say this. I'm hoping it wasn't the give in the ground last time. I'm hoping what I saw was right, and that when they go 26.50.
What race does she have that can possibly win this race?
Well, you don't think the last 2 races she ran here last year can win this race?
No.
The Flower Bowl, I do, and the Breeders' Cup.
Her
I think they
Flower
can.
Bowl win by a head over My Sister Nat goes in the annals of racing, graded race stakes racing history as one of the most fortunate wins and the difference in 2 trips. Joel Rosario gave her about as perfect a ride as you could give. He got very fortunate to get through. How can you have her on top and not have My Sister Nat in the top 4? I'm fine if you want to bet Civil Union. I'm fine if you want to bet anybody. But if you like her, why wouldn't you take a horse that ran better than she did in the Flower Bowl?
Because I think the way the race unfolded, they kind of just, the way the race unfolded, it turned out to just be a race for Civil Union. Maybe the same thing was with My Sister Nat. I don't know.
That doesn't.
It turned out to be, they were in a tough spot. When they go 26.50, both of those mares are going to be in tough spots.
I'm talking about
My Sister
the
Nat and
Flower
Civil
Bowl
Union.
when they ran the
Flower
Flower Bowl and
Bowl.
she beat her by a head when she got the dream trip of a
One's
century.
One's a winning type, and the other one really isn't, Andy. I mean, she's won 1 race here. You know, she beat Mississippi in Fool's Gold. It's the only time she's won here, and I just think Civil Union has a little bit a better resume.
Okay. I don't like My Sister Nat in here, but I'd be happy to bet you a lunch that she beats Civil
Okay,
Union.
we could do that. We could certainly do that.
Okay. What about Magic Attitude? Let's look at Magic Attitude and Muta Makina in the Sheepshead Bay. If I knew Micheline was scratched, I would have shown the replay of Virginia Joy's race, who I think is a player. How did she pay $11 while I was in Kentucky and not paying attention?
This was the bonus winner at Mohegan Sun during Derby Day. I couldn't believe it. She was 9-2 on the board. I just grabbed the mic and said, you can go take this $11 now. Listen.
She can win here.
I'll say this.
She can win.
They did Magic Attitude. Trevor McCarthy gave her a great ride. You knew on paper there was going to be no speed. There wasn't any speed, and they let her relax and make her 1 run. Muta Makina, on the other hand, I think they got a little bit more ambitious and tried to get her in the game to negate the fact that there was no pace. She still ran well,
but when she been slow
not
anyway.
taking her trip. And I think they both get trips now.
She was close to the pace before getting totally shuffed out, Muta Makina, in the Halloween race at Belmont. She just got completely shuffled on the turn and was now her the best, but she was close to the pace that day. They were very similar paces, I assume.
I guess.
And by the way, for those that are wondering about particularly yesterday's Wonder Again, I'm much more interested in the Trackist times than I am the posted times, which didn't make sense to me.
What's she going to do from out there today is the question.
Oh, I don't particularly like Muta Makina.
Right.
I didn't know if she was really good enough to
I
win
wouldn't
here.
be stunned if,
but she got
I mean, it wouldn't
drowned by
surprise me if
Magic
she
Attitude.
won.
Magic Attitude blasted her, and she's a better horse
Magic
based on
Attitude
their
blasted her.
races. So I just prefer, as far as Virginia Joy, I think Capital Structure's a very nice horse. She got the right trip and ran her down, but maybe she takes another step forward.
She did it pretty easily last time too.
She beat a good horse.
Big price.
Capital Structure.
Big price. She's a big price. I don't know if she'll be double digits. I mean, I guess with Michelin out now, everybody will take a little bit of a tick down.
Well, I don't think she was. Michelin is a big price, but I like Thundering Knights in here. We'll take a look at her last race in the Hidden Plant Rentals Alleged Stakes.
I don't have any hidden plants.
Hidden Plant.
Probably means something different
Hidden
here.
Plant Rentals.
Probably means something different here than it does over there. A hidden plant.
The horse, I actually think she ran the best race in here because she was running 3 wide without cover in this race the whole way. And the winner, Broome, who's a heavy favorite, and Broome's a very good horse. She was second in the Tattersall Gold Cup. She won a Grade 2 in her next start. If Thundering Knights runs back to this race, which is her 4-year-old debut, I think this field's in trouble. And it's not as though it comes out of nowhere. A horse who kept good company last year. She was third in a very good Grade 2. She won a Group 2, won a Group 3. The horse that beat her, Broome, is very, very good. Broome would be favored in this race if she were in here. And this horse won a 2 coming over Joseph O'Brien. Both of them are legit. Obviously, he's got the favorite in the 2-mile race. But I think Thundering Knights could be very good and has a real chance to upset this
Fun
field.
race. Real fun race.
I agree. You put up $750,000, and occasionally
This,
you get
by
a
the
good
way,
field.
starts the 2-day pick 4, which is comprised of this and the Gold Cup, the Manhattan, and the Belmont. 6 miles of a pick 4 over the course of the last 2 days.
Your second gold star
the
of
Belmont
the day.
Stakes Racing
You'll
Festival.
be on top of your game today. Race number 10, the Belmont Gold Cup. We'll go over to the, wait, I want to get this. Oh, it's a vintage crop. Where was the Hidden Plants? They couldn't get involved with the vintage crop? Or is the crop stakes sponsored by Vintage? The vintage crop stakes, we'll take a look at that race from over in Naven. Now, I had to laugh because I remember Andy Beyer making a big speech one day that he always bets against horses that ran against Naven. So, Andy, are you betting against Baron Samedi today? And it was not the best video. There is a loose horse, but it seemed like everybody's fine. That horse actually lost the rider right at the start of the race, and that was a fast race. It got a nice time form rating. It's a 1 3/4 race, and he's just not meeting any killers here, and he just seems like he's way the horse to beat. I put him second. But
1 3/4 win, yeah.
Put him on top.
I know he's, yeah, I mean, what was it? I didn't know what else to do. The other horse I thought about putting on top was the horse you put on top. That was it. I mean, I couldn't make a real case for any of the other horses in here. Maybe
you can make
Zayad.
a case for Zayad. We'll take a look at Zayad in the Red Smith, where he ran a winning race. He just got the misfortune of being sort of forced into the position of moving too soon. And in moving too soon, it wasn't Manny's fault. It was just the positioning of the race. He ran very, very well. There was a runoff 150 to 1-shot leader in here. The problem is he ran so poorly last time. He got a perfect trip, and he just came up dead empty in there. But they are better horses than these, and he seems like he should handle the distance. I mean, he is clearly the most talented in his good race, best horse other than the 8, wouldn't you say? I don't love him or trust him, but he might just be in a class situation with these horses, Anthony.
I don't disagree. He has, and he's run well enough, really, in all of his starts here, even last time. I mean, off the break.
You don't mind if I have a drink, do you?
No, I'll have a drink.
There's no gin in this whatsoever, just letting you know.
I don't know. I felt like I wanted 5s and 8s in here. Maybe a little 3. Journey to Freedom.
We can get to the rest of the field. We'll take a look at Fantioso and Journey to Freedom and Strong Tide, all running in the Louisville. The reason I liked Fantioso out of this race is he's absolutely buried in traffic, this horse. And I don't feel as though, Julian didn't do anything wrong. He just got kind of unlucky. I mean, he actually gave him a good ride. He was 2 wide on all the turns. He angled out 3 wide on the 3rd turn. It's just like you see him. It's like Richie sort of says with the with the emergency brake on. He just never really got a chance to get in full flight. Second race in this country. I
Never
trust
clear.
Nacho.
He was just never
yeah,
clear.
I just thought he might be a little interesting of the other ones, and he might be the one you want out of that race because I don't think Conviction Trade is going to win. I mean, he lost to Sir Anthony at 2 miles this distance. People may see he was second at 2 miles and not realize that that second will get him 13th in here. You know I like Tie of the Sea, but I don't think Tie of the Sea can set the pace in this race. There's faster horses early, so why would I want Tie of the Sea in here, right? I mean, isn't Strong Tide going to go with Saez, and possibly So High could go, but Strong Tide's supposed to go. I mean, maybe Pratt rides great. I mean, maybe he's aggressive, but even if he does, it's sort of a different race than those races in Florida, and I just don't really trust him.
I thought if you wanted a price, maybe a Journey to Freedom was a little interesting in here. His 1.5 mile races.
Price the 5.
I'm sorry.
He's same price as the 5 on the board.
Oh wow, I did not notice that. I thought Fantasioso was going to be.
Why? He just ran
short.
4th in that race, and Fantasioso ran 7th. Why would he?
I thought he would be shorter. He's a little. Yeah, I mean, Say the Word before that. Channel Cat. I don't know. I thought he'd be shorter. I thought he'd be like a little bit of the buzz horse. I know quite a few people liked him last time, made him 6-1.
You should actually make a Civil Union So High double.
He's such a clown, man. The only thing
By the way,
only thing missing right now from you is the red nose.
My friend Paul says that it was Nos, not Naven, that Andy Beyer was strongly against.
I didn't remember.
Well,
Naven made no sense.
There was an A, and there was a couple of A's. There were 2 A's and an N. I mean, what do you want from me?
Nos was like, yeah, no question about it.
You're knocking Nos. Nos probably has a lot of big fans.
Nas, one of the greatest rappers of all time, but I don't want to bet any horses from Nas.
That's not very nice. You never even know anything about Nas.
And Nas is from Queens. Very important.
I gotta get more up my rappers.
You do. Talk to Naj. Me and Naj share taste.
Naj gave me a ride home last night.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah, he did. We made unbelievable time. We left here at 7. I was back at my apartment at like before 8.
Him and Naj and I have good conspiracy theories, but now he's on this Brussels sprouts thing. That's where me and him part ways.
Race number 11. The final race on today's card.
The finale. La Finale.
So what do you like about QF 75?
QF 75, Christophe Clement. Source got bumped on the first turn. I don't know if shuffled out's the right comment. He took a pretty good stiff bump on the first turn, and then I guess he got shuffled from there.
He got completely and totally shuffled out of the running of this race and has a legitimate excuse, and he gets a significant rider change, and he did get shuffled in that race, and he had major trouble, whether you saw it or not.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I thought the bump was more significant than the shuffle, to be honest with you. Okay. That's just me.
We'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
I would say it wasn't one of the better rides I've seen in a while.
It's a tough race. I'm going to bet rider changes to Joel.
Since Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet rider changes to Joel Rosario more often than not.
Somebody's mad at me about criticizing his ride on Monday. Somebody's very mad at me.
This was I gotta do some research on that now. I thought 6 or 7 horses could win this race. I just went to Rosario.
I agree with you. QF 75 had real trouble and is an interesting horse getting the switch to Rosario for this race. But Emphasize, I think Emphasize is a little bit interesting in here.
Okay.
I want to watch the first 300 yards of this race, and I'd like to ask my friend Florent Giroux what happened here, because this horse doesn't drop out of the race.
Strangles him back.
Drops into another race in here. I mean, this is
He's got his feet in the dashboard here, Andy.
What is going on here, Florent?
No idea.
See, I can tease Florent because he has a good sense of humor.
No idea.
That was quite a segue there, guys. We went from dirt to turf.
Wow. I'll take Aunt Cat.
Okay. I don't think it was 300 yards either. But anyway, he was completely out of the race. And then just made this wild, 5-wide run here. I mean, look where he ends up out here. He was like at the Yums brand Louisville football stadium on the turn. And it was a race where the speed won. Modern Science, a horse who ran Saratoga last summer, actually.
And he's a horse that was nowhere near
He's not that slow.
No, that's what I mean. He was 3-4 lengths off the lead 2 starts back.
So, Florent, my friend.
Deal or no deal?
Florent had that great tweet to me. What was the race he tweeted? He joked about? Well, I tweeted and I said that what a great race, something about it was for Arrogate. that World Cup. LeBron came back and said, "Not for me." He wrote down a letter. This horse ran. And it's more to me, it's trying to close into that non-pace and getting caught wide. So I thought he was a little interesting. I like 1s and 7s in here. But I don't have a knock on Land Biscuit, who I think is perfectly logical. You obviously don't.
Flavien Prat rides the 4 Summer Silence, by the way.
Thank you, Anthony.
You're welcome.
You're just full of good
I got
stuff.
Land Biscuit 4th. You got the horse 3rd. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm just teasing you. I actually had the 3/4, but scratched out of that one.
Okay.
1s and 7s for me. This has been a pleasure. Should we do this again tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
9:25 tomorrow, I believe.
I know I'm taking an earlier train because I can't
Yes,
risk
I'll see you at the railroad tomorrow.
subway nightmare today. That was the worst commute. I've been here for a long, long time. Well, I mean, listen, you get stuck in the subway.
You were offered a ride.
Well, I don't care about that. I leave very early because you have to leave time in case a subway gets stopped, which it did for about 40 minutes, which is unusual. It was the bus breaking down after the subway that felt like it was sort of piling on.
Wow.
Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. Why aren't you a member of Naira Bets?
Let's go, people.
I mean, come on, get with the program. Become a member of Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Keep the money in the game. Use the promo code Belmont25, and we will give you a free $25 bet. And we will match you $200 your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. You're playing through Naira Bets. Look at this. You bet 50 or more on each stake today. There are 5. Through the app and the app only. It's a win bet. And you will get a $50 bonus at the end of the day. Also, America's Day at the Race, 5:30 to 12:30 to 5, 6 to 6:30, 6:30 to 7. I believe the races are on NBC from 5 to 6. My friend Randy Moss is somewhere around here. I haven't seen Randy yet. I have to find him, track him down somewhere. He and Jerry. We done?
I gotta go do radio. Weekend Stakes Preview presented by
Anthony
Naira.
has a very important. He has to do radio.
Weekend Stakes Preview presented by Naira Bets tonight, 6 to 7, Sirius 219 XM 201, Horse Racing
I have to
Radio.
be somewhere in 5 minutes, so I'm going to go.
All 9.
You keep talking.
All 9 stakes tomorrow at Belmont. That's the show. That's it. That's the show.
There you have it. We are done. It's been fun.
See you tomorrow.
Johnny I. Thankfully, Johnny I is back.
There we
He'll
go.
be up next. The reprise.
This guy,
Scratches
man.
and changes.
Unbelievable.